Good afternoon, welcome to Camnet. In the news, my name is Amanda with the headlines. The opposition PF comes to the defense of DPP amid calls for her resignation. Government officials failed to turn up for a meeting with traditional leaders.
Team, the trajectory of the business looks very positive, and it looks like we'll be able to launch the ministry.
There's so much data.
Mom?
Yes, baby?
It says here, global warming and climate change is caused by the pollution from careless activities of human beings.
Wow!
Son, do you know I can turn my phone into a TV remote?
How's that possible?
It's so easy. Check this out.
Be smart, be fast with mega data from Zamtel. Get your 15 GB mobile data for only 100 kwacha, 30 GB mobile data for only 200 kwacha, and your 70 GB LTE data bundle with free Netflix, YouTube, Facebook, and WhatsApp. Visit our Facebook page, website, or service centers countrywide for more information. Zamtel, your digital lifestyle partner.
Thank you for staying with us, and now the news in detail. Traditional leaders in the country have expressed disappointment at the conduct of officials at the Ministry of Tourism, who failed to honor the invitation to attend a dialogue meeting organized by the Zambian Community Management Resource Board Association in Lusaka. Association chairperson Dr. Rogers Lubilo says if government does not attend to the demands of traditional leaders, they will have to hint the gaming activities in the 19 hunting blocks in their chiefdoms because they are not benefiting.
Traditional leaders drawn from various parts of the country Wednesday convened in Lusaka at a two-day workshop organized by the Zambia Community Management Resources Board Association with the hope of being addressed by the Ministry of Tourism over matters of great importance that were agreed upon in 2021. Among the matters to be agreed was the issue of signing a hunting concession in the 19 hunting blocks where the agreements have expired, the signing and finalizing of statutory instrument that would stipulate how government and communities in which gaming activities take place are supposed to share resources, among other things. However, government representatives from the Ministry of Tourism failed to show up at the meeting, a situation that angered the traditional leaders and members of the association who traveled miles hoping a dialogue can be reached. Association chairperson Dr. Rogers Lubilo then suggested that traditional leaders and association members visit the Ministry of Tourism so that they can be addressed since the ministry representative did not want to show up at the meeting.
You understand the problem, why you have to fight for it. If there is no SI to say where hunting takes place, we are going to share hunting concessions, animal fees. If that SI is not there, you can't get that money. That's why from 2015, concession fees we are not getting because the SI is not there. So we want the SI because the actual law, the principal law says we should share hunting concession fees. But the government is saying no.
After some hours of deliberation with ministry officials, Association President George Tembo then addressed the gathering.
The new SI will provide other allocations which the communities were not getting benefit from. But unfortunately, we need to tell you that up to now, we haven't gotten the feedback of the government saying which one will be our way forward. Not even a roadmap, and neither has government communicated to community as a co-manager or a partner to say this is what we're going to do going forward. I wish also to tell you that we have not been communicated to say which one will be the roadmap, the issues to do with hunting concession agreements. Now, our concern and appeal to government is that if the hunting concession agreements are not signed in the 19 hunting block, we are talking about loss of employment in 19 chiefdoms. We are talking about no money going to those chiefdoms.
And efforts to get a comment from the Ministry of Tourism proved futile by broadcast time. Prudence Jota, reporting for Camnet TV News.
The Patriotic Front has condemned the recent bullying and calls for the resignation of Director of Public Prosecution William Sioni. PF chairperson for Information and Media, Raphael Nakachinda, says Ms. Sioni is one of the most qualified prosecutors the country recently has, hence it is unfortunate that she is attacked in such a manner.
The call to having the Director of Public Prosecutor, Lilian Sioni, resign from her position is getting louder as the United Party for National Development Youths in Lusaka have given Ms. Sioni 24 hours to step down from her position.
I'm sure many other voices have echoed the same sentiments that Amaya DPP Vaja, she's not serving our interest, and the only thing to do for her is to resign on moral grounds.
The Patriotic Front PF, on the other hand, says it is disappointed at the conduct of those who are demanding for the resignation of Ms. Sioni, who acted in accordance with the law, and those who are demanding for a resignation because she was appointed to a position under the PF, thereby she is a PF cadre. PF chairperson for Information and Media, Raphael Nakachinda, says Ms. Sioni is one of the most qualified prosecutors in the country and deserves to be respected. Mr. Nakachinda has wondered why women movement groups in the country are quietly watching their fellow woman being insulted and disrespected.
If Mr. Shonga, for example's argument is that the DEC has the powers to go against the decision of the DPP, meaning that when the DPP enters a Nole, the law enforcement agencies have the power to rearrest. What kind of judicial system are we going to have? So the DPP will go to court and make a decision, and then the law enforcement agencies make another decision? Why do we go to court, and when we reach there they tell us we cannot proceed on this matter, we are still waiting for instructions from the office of the DPP?
Mr. Nakachinda says the country should run away from politicizing everything that does not favor those in government. He has since challenged the government to deny allegations that it has entered a concert agreement with Mr. Milingolungu, whose content is not yet known.
There are concert agreements that have been entered in the name of the state versus Mr. Milingo. And we want to know the content of this. Is it true? Now, people are trying to say, no, entering a knowledge is such an out of this world situation. Have we forgotten, colleagues, that the Republican president we have today is sitting on a knowledge himself? When the knowledge was entered, I must tell you, I was in government myself. I was part of Patriotic Front already by the privilege of having been nominated as a member of parliament. There were sentiments within ourselves as Patriotic Front accusing this same lady that she's UPND.
We will continue to monitor how the matter will unfold. Prudence Chota, reporting for Camnet TV News.
The Transparency International Zambia ITES has advised the Director of Public Prosecution DPP against going beyond her jurisdiction. ITES Executive Director Maurice Nyambe explains that there is no provision in the Constitution or in any other piece of legislation where the office of the DPP is given powers to instruct law enforcement agencies such as Drug Enforcement Commission on when to arrest or investigate suspects.
This is a letter that the Director of Public Prosecutions wrote to the Drug Enforcement Commission over the rearresting of Milingolungu, the issue that has brought about public debate. Stakeholders have submitted their view on the matter, including the Law Association of Zambia, who recently wrote the DPP offside, noting that the DPP cannot stop investigations or the arrest of anyone, highlighting that the DPP's role is in prosecuting, adding to a popular demand of the DPP escapating herself in the eyes of the public. The National Democrats Congress, NDC, has charged the DPP Lilian Sioni to resign on moral ground. NDC Deputy Secretary General Joseph Kasonde says this in an exclusive interview with Camnet News.
The day there is unity in this country and he wants to be user-friendly, but unfortunately the colleagues want to abuse the process. So DPP's stance, I think we are not in support of that. On moral validation, she just has to resign. That will be the best she can do as of now. The money that Milingolungu is being accused of having accumulated, it's just too much for somebody to even say, no, why did you do this? In any case, she was supposed to have just gone secretly or confidentially. They speak about it. After all, when recommendations are being done by these investigative wings, there must be some collaboration in between. Now you never know. For her to come out like that, it leaves much to be desired. We really don't know. We don't know. But we're not in support. A point. The UPND alliance government, it's not there just to say, no, this is wrong. We say, yes, this is right, yes. Here is a situation which actually is not falling well. Not all the Zambians are saying what the DPP is saying is correct. And if you notice very well, those that might be saying, no, yes, the DEC were wrong to rearrest, it is not the actual people that mean well. Most of them, the Law Association of Zambia has put the spade very correctly.
In the same vein, the Transparency International Zambia, TIZ, has cautioned DPP against abrogating the constitutional principle by acting outside the parameters of what the law provides for the operations of the DPP.
Our view is that rather than calling for the DEC to exculpate themselves concerning the rearrest of Mr. Lungu, it is in fact the DPP herself who needs to exculpate herself, certainly in the eyes of the citizens of Zambia, by explaining the rationale behind the nolle prosequi that she entered in the Lungu case. You will realize that the DPP being a public office, regardless of the security of tenure as well as the discretionary powers that are vested in it, it needs to be seen to be always acting in the interest of the public and for the greater good of justice.
Some stakeholders are of the view that the DPP's action make the fight against corruption in the country even more harder. Alex Shimba, Camnet News in Lusaka.
The Disability Rights Watch has lamented that the ongoing teacher recruitment may disadvantage persons with cross-cutting disabilities in the country if the right measures are not put in place. Organization National Coordinator Bruce Chuma fears that the 10% recruitment for persons with disability may be abused by non-eligible persons.
Announcement made by the Minister of Information and Media, who is also Chief Government Spokesperson, that persons with disabilities are going to be given priority even in the recruitment of healthcare personnel that the government is undertaking, in addition to the 10% allocation for the teacher recruitment exercise. We feel that this is progressive in terms of creating a career path and opportunities for work for people with disabilities. We further wish to caution those who have made applications to government to be employed as teachers or medical or health personnel to ensure that they do not abuse this facility. Government has stated clearly that there's going to be transparency in the recruitment process. We are concerned, however, with some reports we are receiving that there are some individuals who do not have disabilities per se who are going ahead to put pressure on the Zambia Agency for People with Disabilities to issue them with disability certificates so that they can enhance their chances of being employed. This is not good because this facility is meant to benefit people with disabilities and not those without disabilities. So we want to caution those officers who might want to collude in this scheme to not do so, because if they do so and we have evidence, we might hand them over to law enforcement agencies for corruption, because this facility is meant to benefit persons with disabilities. We suspect that the percentage targeted for teacher recruitment might not actually be met if we stick only to teachers with disabilities. In the event that we don't meet that target, we would still advocate that government prioritizes teachers who have got a training in special education and inclusive education, so that children with disabilities who are going without much teacher support can be able to be supported in the schools.
This brings us to the end of our Camnet Media News, but before we go, let's take a look at the stories that made the headlines. The opposition PF comes to the defense of the DPP amid calls for her resignation. Government officials failed to return up for a meeting with traditional leaders. These are the stories that made the headlines. Thank you for joining us on Camnet Midday News. My name is Amazing.